Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of my vlog, and thanks to those of you who are still tuning in. With regards to my transition this week, not noticed any real changes. And my week has been a mixed bag, I think it's fair to say. The less said about last Sunday, the better. And again, sincere apologies to anybody who was alarmed by some of my social media posts and the fact that the police had been called around. Monday wasn't a great day. I'd got my prescription for my venlafaxine, which is the standard release venlafaxine. However, I managed to get through 10 or so chemists, and all of them told me that they didn't have it due to a manufacturing problem. So by this stage I was pretty stressed out. I'd missed my 2 doses on Sunday as well of my venlafaxine, so I was having palpitations. I don't know whether that's just the anxiety of not having my meds or proper withdrawal symptoms, but I phoned the MDDUS, my defence union, and asked them, well, I'm having these palpitations, can I self-prescribe myself the modified release? Because that's still available in the chemist, and they're like, no, you're having symptoms, you should probably go to A&E and get yourself checked and do things by the book. So I went to A&E and was in sinus tachycardia, nothing seriously wrong with me, and I settled down after a wee while. And massive love to Shona, who came and sat in A&E with me and brought me home, so thank you very much, Shona. Tuesday morning I was teaching the second year dental students over at Golden Jubilee Hospital, so just a wee bit of an intro to cardiology for them, and that was good fun. I really enjoy teaching, like I've said before, and I'd love to get more into it if I'm able to during my career. And I'm talking about career like I actually have a career, but I don't really. Got back to my GP Tuesday lunchtime and got the modified release venlafaxine, and was a lot more chilled after that. And back to work at the Southern in the afternoon for clinic. Wednesday, Thursday quiet days at work, and then Friday was an all-day head and neck clinic, which was not fun at all. And rather than tell you what I did on Saturday, Sunday, I'm going to try something a wee bit different. I'm going to try showing you what I did on Saturday, Sunday. So I've carried my camera about, and yeah, this is what I got up to. So this is me at the Medics Against Violence Wall on Saturday. It was held at the Radisson Blu. As you can see from the shots there, the blue lighting I didn't appreciate. I thought it looked like those lights that you have in the toilets to stop you injecting yourself with drugs. As you can see, I've gone for a wee Agatha Christie theme for my outfit. And this is some generic footage of people having fun dancing, and I was dancing myself later. And yeah, after the dancing we got down to the murder mystery quiz, and finding out who the suspect was. Obviously, being Medics Against Violence, we had to have a theft, and I won a wee raffled prize there as well. I think it was the maid in the end who'd committed the crime. So that's Saturday. So it's Sunday, and I've finally made it to Loop and Scoop on Great Western Road. Had my brows done early this morning at Beauty Browdery on Great Western Road, not Great Western Road, on Dumbarton Road in Scotstoun. And as you can see, brows on fleek. But yeah, back to the main event. I have got the Loop and Scoop, and I've gone for the Cookies Galore flavour with Nutella ice cream, so I'll let you know how it tastes later on, guys. Well, I can honestly say that the churros tasted amazing and a fantastic crispy texture, but the ice cream probably a bit rich for me, but I still finished it. So obviously, with being at the ball last night, I did not have a chance to check my letterbox yesterday, but when I opened it up this morning, this was waiting for me. So it's Lauren's book, Filter Free, and massive shout out to Lauren. I'm so looking forward to reading this when I get a chance this week. I'm sure I'll binge it in one go. For this week I'm going to be doing a wee bit of feminism too, I guess. I'll be chatting a wee bit about intersectionality and a wee bit about inequality, equality and equity. Now, for those of you not familiar with the term, intersectionality is a type of identity politics, basically the intersection of multiple identities which are traditionally oppressed identities. So, for example, being woman, being an ethnic minority, being LGBT, these are all intersectional identities, and there's the term that's been coined, which is the matrix of oppression, and it's not one I'm particularly fond of. But there are some things in intersectionality which I think are relevant. I remember a while back seeing a clip in the news. I can't remember if this was Loose Women or where it was I'd seen it, but it was somebody copying a lot of flack from the media for saying that trans women are not women or are not real women. Now, that's clearly not true, but what is true is saying that trans women are not the same as cisgender women. There is a clear difference, and this is part of intersectionality and identity politics, and I don't like to harp on about it because it's not something I'm particularly fond of, but there is a tangible difference between my experience as a trans woman and the experience of somebody who was born as a woman. I'll talk a wee bit more about this next week when I'm talking about exclusion politics, and a wee bit about the need for safe spaces alongside that, but I think that's all I want to say about that for today. Now, equality and inequality. Inequality is something that we all have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. There are inequalities in society, be it systemic or non-systemic. So there are systemic inequalities against ethnic minorities, systemic inequalities against women. Now, equality as an ideal is something that we should be aiming towards. But let me just say, I do not believe in equality as a policy. Now, some of you might think that sounds strange, but actually what I believe in is equity, which is treating different groups of people according to their needs. Now, to use an example of where equality was applied, you only have to look at the poll tax. Now, the poll tax, some people say it was a regressive form of taxation, but according to the strict economic perspective, it's actually a flat tax. But the burden of taxation with the poll tax was unfair in that people with more resources are more able to pay it than people with fewer resources. Therefore, it was seen as massively unfair, despite being an example of equality. Now, looking at healthcare inequalities, there's the inverse care law by Tudor Hart, and in that he says that the available healthcare and social care resources are inversely proportional to the needs of the population. So clearly this is something that needs to be addressed, and if you look at any of Harry Burns' podcasts, you know, I'm not going to talk too much about that today, but he's got lots of clever ideas for how we address these inequalities in society, be it inequalities that we as women or trans women or black women or whatever face, or healthcare inequalities that deprived communities face. But some things that have been purported, you know, things that you'll see from time to time, things like quotas and positive discrimination, I don't think either of these are particularly helpful because, you know, they result in tokenism, and you have the token woman on the board of an FTSE 100 company, and you have the token black person being admitted to Oxbridge. It's not something that addresses the underlying systematic inequalities, and I'm not in a position to give you any answers, but I hope that by rambling today I've been able to highlight what's a very real and a very serious issue and just make you think a bit more about it. So I think that's me for today, so I will chat to you again next week. Bye for now.